What's good, Shadow Gang? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another video. If y'all new here, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. I always post when I drop a new video, and I post little snippets of it there too. Yeah, check out my previous videos and all that shit, and I'll put the link to the original video in the description below. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. We're gonna do something very special today. Yeah, we're gonna react to the GOAT. Well, a video about the GOAT. We're gonna react to The Many Victims of Eminem by Loesta. Now, I'm pretty sure I did a reaction on him. What was it? Like hip hop has a white rapper problem, I think it was. Go check that out. That was a while ago, but yeah. We're gonna react to The Many Victims of Eminem. Y'all already know Eminem's a beast. I think he's the greatest of all time. Lyrically and all that shit. He's the only rapper that never lost a beef. Like a rap beef, so yeah. But that's enough, man. Let's get right into it. This video is long, so I might have to make it a two-parter. So yeah. But let's get right into it and let's see The Victims of Eminem.
Eminem is one of the most ruthless individuals ever to pick up a mic.
Of course.
Over the years, he's left countless artists on the receiving end of scathing disses and personal vendettas that their careers never recover from. So today, we're going to be discussing some of Eminem's most craziest beefs. And by the end of the video, you'll see why it's not the wisest decision to go against the self-proclaimed rap god.
Hey, we already know why. It's just motherfuckers are ignorant, and they think if they just keep poking it, this is gonna work. It's like, no. Hell, Eminem is so good that he's at a point of his career where if he doesn't respond to you, you already lost, because that means he don't even give a fuck what you gotta say. Sort of how he did with, who was it, The Game? So yeah, let's go right into this shit. Oh, don't freeze up on me now.
It's your boy Loesta, and these are the many victims of Eminem. And to kick things off, we're looking at how he flipped the script on one of the most infamous rap crews from his own city. If you've been a fan of Eminem since the early 2000s, or at least gone back to revisit some of his older work while he was in his prime, you might have heard a line from the song Marshall Mathers from his MMLP album where he says,
"Slim Anus, you damn right Slim Anus, I don't get fucked in mine like you two little flaming fat."
Well, these lines, as well as tons of other sly disses scattered throughout his catalog, were directed towards a little-known group by the name of ICP. Before Eminem was ever a major star in hip-hop, the Insane Clown Posse were the rappers who were initially putting on for the city of Detroit. Known for their signature face paint and loyal army of fans known as the Juggalos, ICP and their Psychopathic Records crew were ruling the city. While he was still on the come-up, M tried to use a little of their shine for his own benefit. The only problem was that he didn't tell Shaggy 2 Dope or Violent J.
Eminem walked up and gave us a flyer, and it said special invited guests, and it had, you know, Esham, Kid Rock, ICP, and some others, and we were like,
question marks.
We were like, why is our name on this flyer? You know what I mean? Because
we never heard of nothing.
We don't even know what this is, and our name's on the flyer, you know? And he was like, I'm not saying you guys are gonna be there, it says invited. And he's like, and I'm inviting you now. You guys wanna come?
To make things work.
So here's the thing about that. First of all, that was a genius thing. How he, instead of him saying special guests, he says special invited guests, as in like, yo, they may or may not be there. So that was smart by him. And I mean, I understand their frustrations. Like, yo, you ain't tell us, but like, technically, my boy wasn't lying. Like, oh, I'm inviting you now, and it's on the flyer. So yeah, listen, man, I'm not gonna hate on him for doing that just because. Not just because I'm his fan, but it's like, by that time I'm pretty sure he wasn't signed to any label or anything like that, because this beef happened a while before that I know of, at least. And man, he was just trying to make ends meet. He was trying to get people to pop up so they can buy a ticket or something, or watch him perform or something. So smart move, shoot. Smart move, that's all I can really say.
They then found out that not only was M trying to use their name for clout, but that he had also dissed them on an upcoming track. So they felt like they had no choice but to retaliate.
One of the lyrics he said on there was, fuck.
Man, don't start with this ad shit.
Fuck ICP, buy my CD.
Woke up with my face painted, spaced out like sci-fi TV. Fuck ICP, buy my CD.
And we were like, dang, like he's gonna diss us like that. We had a radio show at the time, and we took his song Slim Shady, and we did a remix of it and turned it into Slim Anus. And we just played it as a joke on our radio show, you know what I mean?
Recorded alongside fellow MC Twisted, the Slim A freestyle saw ICP pulling no punches and featured bars where they ripped Eminem a new one, with bars like,
Hi kids, do you like this? I let Dr. Dre fill out my butt for a chance to be famous.
They then followed this up with more bars like this one.
Wanna copy me and do exactly like I did? Try Sid, get your butt pumped out like I did.
Understandably, being that Eminem came up off of battle rapping, the fact that this diss came directly from a group out of his hometown of Detroit, M wasn't all that happy about the release of the track. Although, he might have not even heard it if another radio station didn't play it to him during an interview. But at that point, the battle lines were drawn and things escalated beyond just rap.
He was like, we're gonna handle it on the streets, you know? And then everything just went bad from there, you know what I mean?
Okay, when you say went bad, did anything actually happen?
All kinds of shit happened between our channels.
Like what?
Like people getting into fights out on the streets,
Like,
you know?
nothing happened between me and him and actual fucking Eminem.
But your
Never.
people and his people.
Yeah, he pulled a fucking empty pistol on one of our boys.
Wait,
You know what I'm
Eminem pulled an empty pistol.
saying? On one of our boys.
Really?
Yo, I love listening to stories like this because y'all be saying, oh, Eminem ain't about that life. Eminem ain't shit. Bro, Eminem, from the stories I keep hearing, Eminem was probably the most gangster motherfucker out of D12 from what I'm listening to. Like, the guns and shit, like the amount of stories I heard about Eminem fucking using a gun, like no matter if it was like pointing it at somebody or pistol whipping somebody, like, yo, I don't know what it was, but M was a crazy ass white boy back then. Like back in the day, that boy was crazy.
Over the years, tensions persisted, and as Eminem's platform got bigger, he controlled the narrative. As I said earlier, he was dissing them on his biggest album, the Marshall Mathers LP, an album that literally sold 1.7 million copies in its first week of releasing. Mind you, this was way before streaming was even a thing, and the only way to buy music was to literally purchase a physical copy. He would bring dolls on stage that represented ICP and make a mockery of them.
We got the Insane Clown Pussy
I saw that.
tonight for the very first time ever making their debut in a stadium this big. And what I'm here to tell you tonight, Worcester, is that it is all good between me and the Insane Clown Pussies. Fucking faggots.
Then, more stories like Eminem chasing ICP out of a club and shooting their van with a paintball gun began circulating. On top of that, he downplayed their hip-hop credentials by telling the Detroit Free Press that ICP isn't real, they're a mockery, they're not even rap.
Damn.
And even members from Eminem's group D12 claimed that the beef was quote-unquote very serious at one point.
How serious did it get?
It was serious, like on sight. If we see them, they see us. It's
Yeah, he
whatever.
pulled a gun on one of their
I
crew
think they
member. I'm
ran
gonna
into
assume it's
Marshall
serious.
at a car shop or some shit, like way back in the day. I forgot what happened, but yeah, it was serious, man.
Left unable to really mess with M while he was at the peak of his powers, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope threw a few shots here and there, but the general belief was that Eminem emerged victorious.
Of course.
Now, they look back upon it as a ridiculous incident between two artists on the rise, and they have since put it behind them. The beef we had with him was 11 years ago. That's like beefing with somebody in high school and going to your 20th high school reunion and you still have heat with that kid. But after their respective teams escalated things, it was actually one of Eminem's most trusted friends and advisors who managed to bring things to a
Right-hand
close in a surprising way.
R.I.P.
I remember Proof squashing the beef. He's so dope for coming over and squashing the beef, man. Rest in peace, Proof. Like, I was so happy.
Listen, at that time, you can argue that no one would speak for Eminem. But the one person that will squash a beef, even if Ed wasn't aware of, and then it will squash right there and then we'll stop it, I truly believe it's Proof. That dude, he's the reason why we got Eminem. Let's be real. We always talk about Dre and shit, but Proof gave Eminem that confidence to rap, to freestyle and all that. So, RIP to Proof, man. And shout out to his son. I listened to a lot of what his son is doing. His son's doing good with that rap shit. But yeah, let's get right into
happy to be and honored to be included in that.
Yeah.
Because he was squashing M's beef with
Royce.
big names.
Yeah, he was squashing his beef with Royce.
Because M was going around back then dropping crazy names, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and when he came to the office and shit, and then we went bowling and drinking.
You went bowling with M?
With D12.
Oh, with D12, so with the crew.
Living with
Here we go
opioid
with these
addiction can
fucking
be a
ads,
struggle.
man.
Trapped in a cycle of opioid use,
shit.
withdrawal, and
Get him on.
Against ICP.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that
in
was
our crew, yeah.
That's dope.
Luckily for ICP, they always had their own dedicated following, which set them apart from the rest of hip-hop. So it's safe to say that their beef with M hasn't exactly defined them.
Right.
However, there are some people who are looking at the rap pioneer Melly Mel a little differently after he attempted to step into the ring with M, only to literally embarrass himself in the process. You might have heard how Kendrick Lamar name-dropped Melly Mel in his infamous verse on Like That, where he said, well, the person he was referring to is Grandmaster Melly Mel, which is the lead rapper and songwriter of Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, which was a 1970s New York hip-hop collective. Melly Mel is regarded as one of the most respected men in hip-hop, as he was one of the first people to really show that rap can convey a message. As a result, he's always been well regarded by both the hip-hop media and the rappers that have followed in his footsteps. But after he was listed at number 48 on Rolling Stone's list of greatest MCs, Melly Mel took exception to Shady's position at number 5 and sounded off about how it wasn't a deserved placement.
Obviously, he's a capable rapper. If you was talking about sales, he sold more than everybody. If you're talking about rhyme style, okay, he got a rhyme style. But he's white. He's white. So now, if Eminem was just another nigga like all the rest of us, would he be top 5 on that list when a nigga...
Yes and no. Let me tell you why. And I'm just gonna say facts. Everybody knows if Eminem was half black, yeah, he probably would have sold half of what he sold now. But let's not pretend like if he was black, you all would literally be calling him the greatest of all time. Or better yet, y'all probably would have said, if Eminem was black, y'all probably would have given him so much respect that there would be not one hater in the world. But because he's a white boy who's better than half of black people and half of the Latin Puerto Ricans and half of the Jamaicans that made hip hop, y'all get mad. And keep in mind, he's now on some Miley Cyrus shit. He's now on Post Malone shit. He's now on some MGK shit. He's not doing a couple rap records, making millions, and then doing punk rock or pop music or country music or going on to movies. He's a dude that grew up loving hip hop and is in his 50s and he's still doing hip hop. Not one time he went pop, not one time he went rock or anything. And he could have, but he didn't. So I don't want to hear that shit. Eminem's the GOAT. He's my favorite, but I don't think he's the GOAT because he's my favorite. I have 2 different reasons. And you just cannot deny the impact he made for hip hop. Because of him, hip hop got bigger to a wider audience, like Middle America and shit. So that's all I gotta say about that. I don't know.
Nigga that can rhyme just as good as him is 35. That had records and all that. He's 35. He's white.
From there, he went on to say that Eminem's success just all came down to his skin tone, not his skill.
Right. Anybody could be as mad as they could feel how they want to feel. If they don't think that race plays a part in the equation of how great he is. I heard one of the dudes that's down with him, Royce the 6'9", I heard he's just as good as Eminem.
Bitch.
Why ain't he as big as Eminem? Because he black. It ain't none of that shit hard to figure out. Eminem gets a top spot.
Royce is big. Let's get that, Chris. Like, yes, he may not be as big as Eminem, but let's be real. Who the fuck is bigger? Who is as big as Eminem, right? So, cut the shit. Second of all, Royce is big. The dude was nominated for a Grammy not too long ago. Like, I want to say like 2 or 3 Grammys ago. And he actually could have won if they gave it to him. The dude had an amazing album. I was listening to the album. So, like, chill the fuck out. Like, I'm sick and tired of them being like, oh, what about Royce and what about this? It's like, motherfuckers always, like, say some bullshit. As a matter of fact, Royce the 5'9" brings out the best in Eminem. And the only people, in my opinion, to bring out the best in Eminem is Royce the 5'9", 50, and D12. So, Yeah, he is pretty good. He might not be as this big global star, but he's big, and people that respect MCs and like lyricism know who the fuck Royce the 5'9" is. So chill the fuck out.
Because he's white.
Adamant that M didn't deserve the acclaim he receives,
Right.
Melly Mel kept doubling down, and it actually turned out that the muscle-bound rapper has had some strong feelings about Shady way before that list.
Yeah.
Because during an interview on Vlad TV from a few years prior, he claimed that he could beat M in a battle without even trying.
Easy. It would be the easiest thing I ever did. When people bring that up, just
Shut
say
your old
you
ass
can't
up.
beat Eminem. Just say that. But I've been doing this all my life, and I don't even write like I used to write. This is my destiny. Like my mechanics and my dynamics and my knowledge of what rap is all about. It supersedes anything that goes on out there.
Unfortunately for Melly Mel, he was about to eat those words, and a whole lot of abuse came with it. It all started when M jumped on the Filipino rapper Easy Mill's track, Realist. After initially ignoring Mel's claims, Shady decided to throw a couple bars in his direction. He said the following lines: "Shout out to Furious 5 and Grandmaster Flash, but boy, there's someone who really is furious. Stay out his..."
Fresh agave taste. From Fresh
I just
pressed
fucking
agave.
hate ads. Stop ruining my fucking video, man. Good for you getting your money wasted up, but like, damn. Pretty sure.
His path, his wrath.
Void, and I'll be the last to toy with a juice that his brain is like half destroyed, like a meteor hit it. Well, then with Melly Mel, we lost his asteroid.
Suddenly, Melly Mel had the chance to prove that it really was his destiny to outshine Eminem.
Yeah, go ahead.
But instead, he proceeded to drop one of the worst diss tracks of all time with the song Kickback. And boy, did he get clowned for it. Gotta give it to Melly Mel. He was so prepared that he recorded an Eminem diss track in 1985 just in case. This sounds like the kind of rap dare officers do when they try to get kids to stay off drugs. After this diss dropped, his claims that he could easily dismantle M were nothing more than a distant memory. And to save face, he issued an apology online.
Not only did he issue an apology online, I'm pretty sure he took the video down, like the music video. Not the music video, but like, because there was no music video, but the song down from any from any platform, especially on YouTube. That's the first thing he did, and then he apologized, if I remember correctly. So, motherfucker, imagine talking so much shit about Eminem, and then your dumb ass disses him, and people clown your ass. So much so that you decide to not only apologize to him, but to actually take down the song you dissed him. Bruh, get the fuck out of here. Basically, he did what J. Cole did. Took this he did about Kendrick back. Let that shit sink in.
Important to acknowledge the dynamics of hip-hop have evolved over distinct eras, and it is inevitable that not everyone will resonate with my perspective, just as I may not fully comprehend others. Throughout my involvement in shaping the hip-hop landscape, the cornerstone has been built upon a foundation of mutual respect, even when personal preferences may differ. After all that yapping, he even thanked Eminem for mentioning him in his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech. But even though he tried to walk it back, some people felt that the legend had left a stain on his legacy. Yo, this apology is longer than the diss track. Imagine being a pioneer of hip-hop and letting your ego tarnish your legacy. Damn. For the former Furious 5 member, Eminem being viewed as greater than him was a problem for a while, and by the looks of it, he's now willing to drop the whole thing. But the same cannot be said for our next victim on the list, who's arguably more obsessed with Eminem than some of his most fanatical stands.
Lord Jamar.
I'm of course talking about Lord Jamar. Jamar made his name in hip-hop as part of the group
and yes,
Brand New.
I call him a weirdo. Let me tell you why. You hate a guy so much, but goddamn, especially around 2018 and 2019, all you did was mention that dude 24/7. Like, imagine hating somebody, but you keep talking about them. And you know what's the crazy part? When he stopped talking about him, no one was paying attention what the fuck he was saying. But whenever he mentioned Eminem, everybody was paying attention, which just tells you how big of a big deal Eminem is. Because keep in mind, he was a part of a rap group. I don't know too much. He's probably going to say it here. Because, again, I don't know too much about old school rap like that. But point is, this motherfucker talked so much shit about Eminem. No one was paying attention to him unless he was talking shit about Eminem. And then when he wasn't talking about Eminem, man, no one give a fuck what he got to say. Like, he disappeared just like everybody else.
I'm of course talking about Lord Jamar. Jamar made his name in hip-hop as part of the group Brand Nubian, a conscious rap crew from the 90s who are all about politically charged lyrics and black empowerment. From the outset, Jamar has always seen himself as a gatekeeper of the culture. So for him, the concept of a white guy from Detroit like Eminem being recognized as one of the GOATs just couldn't fly. And during his many interviews on Vlad TV, he's made it clear that Eminem lives in his brain rent-free. At one point, he even tracked an old picture of Eminem wearing a Will Smith mask, arguing that it should be enough for him to be kicked out of the genre once and for all.
You basically said was blackface.
Well, it's kind of like a blackface.
No, it's not.
It's a mockery of black people, like a white dude wearing.
No, cut the shit. Fuck out of here. No, we all know Eminem dissed Will Smith. We all know he probably did that to make fun of Will Smith. That's not blackface. That's not this. Blackface is putting black paint on your fucking face. Let's get that shit. Let's get that shit right. Putting a mask about Will Smith is not basically blackface. And that is the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my fucking life. If that's the case, bro, who was it? Was it Nick Cannon and Snoop Dogg legit did whiteface? They actually painted their face white and pretended to be a white person. Eminem put a Will Smith mask on because he ain't fuck with Will Smith and he was making fun of Will Smith. That ain't no blackface. Cut the shit. Fuck out of here.
Any kind of black mask is problematic and should be explained. I just wanted to know what the whole context was. Could it be explained? I know at the
he
time
didn't like Will Smith, and he probably was making fun of Will Smith because he always felt Will Smith was a corny dude who disrespected rap by disrespecting guys like him. The fuck you mean? For a guy that talks about Eminem and knows so much about him, I'm surprised he didn't put two and two together. The fuck?
Time, you know, a lot of people in hip hop, black people might have looked at Will Smith as kind of corny and like very straight laced type of hip hop, but that's for us to do. You see what I'm saying?
No,
you crossed the line that maybe one of us could have did.
Okay. So in that case, since I'm Puerto Rican, you can't say if Big Pun, R.I.P., or Fat Joe are one of the best rappers or one of the best actors in hip hop. That's for us Puerto Ricans to decide then. Or you can't say, hey, you can't decide if Busta Rhymes is one of the best of all time. That's for the Jamaicans to decide. Make it make sense, bro. You stupid. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. This motherfucker hates Eminem because he called Will Smith corny. Will Smith was corny. Everything about him was corny. Like, the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, bro. This dude's just a hater, bro.
But you, as a white guy, can't do that.
Over the years, Jamar just kept coming at Shady, all the while maintaining that M and every other white rapper was a, quote, guest in the house of hip-hop.
Just like in Eminem, we had a lot of people talking about, is Eminem a guest in the house of hip-hop?
That's the funny part. No one talks about your ass. You talking about Eminem's a guest in the house of hip-hop. No one talks about you unless you're talking about
just because he sold the most records and all of that. Like, I fucks with Eminem, you know, as a lyricist and all of that. But it's like we are in America, okay, where the majority of the people are white.
After a while, Shady couldn't stand it anymore. And on the diss-filled record Kamikaze from 2018, Eminem dedicated a few bars on the track Fall to let the former Brand Nubian MC know what he thought about him. In a song where he dissed everyone from Tyler the Creator, Charlemagne the God, and Joe Budden, Eminem specifically called out Jamar with bars like, and as far as Lord Jamar, you better leave me the hell alone, or I'll show you an Elvis clone. Walk up in this house you own, brush my pelvic bone, you should tell a phone, and go fetch me the remote. Put my feet up, and just make myself at home. I belong here, clown. But it didn't stop there. During a live show in Dubai,
keep going.
Eminem decided
he
to
talked about them, tell me about the culture. I aspired the Hobson, the Coles, the Kendricks, brought the world 50 Cent. Come on, man. Fuck, I love
another
that
jab
song.
at his enemy.
I had a dream that I was a fucking nobody who sucked at rap. Oh, really? And then I woke up. And you know who I was, Mr. Porter? Who are you? Lord Jamar.
After that, he upped the intensity of his insults and made them more personal. Because on the track I Will from 2020's Music to Be Murdered By, he called out Lord Jamar's skills into question and suggested he wasn't the legend he thought he was. I'm more than you bargained for, and I am far more worse than a 40-some Lord Jamar verse. I never was, been claiming rap when it's not yours. If it was anyone's house, G-Rap and Rakim would be having you mop floors. One DMC would be having you cleaning sinks. Yeah, your group was off the chain, but you were the weakest link.
Damn.
In response, Lord Jamar returned to the Vlad TV couch as he always does. But he still acted like he wasn't bothered even in the slightest.
But he was.
I know what this bitch ass said, okay?
Oh yeah, you're so not bothered.
What? I'm still unscathed. Guess what? Motherfucker,
you're unscathed, but you just call him a bitch ass. Make that shit make sense, bro. He's so fucking
listening to that in the hood. Nobody came to me in the hood and was like, yo, I just heard this Eminem song.
Bro, I swear to God, I hate when they say that. It's like, yo, just because your hood or the hood you was growing up with doesn't play Eminem doesn't mean he's not played in the hood. Like, you think because your hood didn't play Eminem that no hood plays Eminem? You know how many times here in Patterson and in New Brunswick and in Florida, there was a little hood there. I forgot what time it was. I was very young. But you know how many times I heard Eminem being played? Of course, you know, some of them were songs for 50, but let's be real. Come on now. Like, stop that shit. Oh, it's not being played in the hood. So what? So what? The fuck? Make that shit make sense, man.
Where he went at you. No, they gotta read about it on media takeout and shit like that. Because again, my point is proven, nobody listens to your fucking shits. So
he sold more records than
you.
But by the looks of it, everyone thought Jamar was pressed.
Worldwide, he sold more records than you. So therefore, people are buying his shit to listen to it. So more people. So not only are people listening to shit, people are listening to more of his shit than you and your whole group. Make that shit make sense, bro. Get the fuck out of here. This cornball, bro.
That's about the whole situation.
He's so corny.
Lord Jamar, no one listens to Eminem. Lord Jamar sings every verse on Stepdad, says I'm chill while literally twitching and raising his voice. Right. You can tell his blood is boiling.
Pretty much.
But even though he clearly got in his feelings, there was a brief moment where Jamar actually thought he had the upper hand. As in an interview with King Crooked, Eminem basically accepted his status as a man who would never fully be accepted by certain sections of the hip-hop listenership based on his skin color.
How do you feel about the concept of white rappers being a guest in the house of hip-hop?
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing. I don't know if I've got a chance to say this yet, but the funny shit is, like, with the whole beef of a certain person,
right?
I never said I wasn't a guest.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm absolutely a guest. Like, I never said I wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. He did say he belongs in the house, but he never said he wasn't. I guess I will say that. But let's be real, Eminem.
And within days, Jamar was celebrating this like it was a historic victory.
Right.
I guess his ego wouldn't allow him to say, Lord Jamar was right the whole time and I was bugging for coming at him the way I did. My bad, I am a guest in the house of hip hop. But even though M made that concession, this still hasn't been enough for Jamar to put the whole thing behind him.
No, he's still...
Because ultimately, his relevancy is now tied to the hatred of Eminem.
Yes!
So every time he drops again, Jamar reemerges and continues to lose his mind about Shady's continuous...
Bro, he's gonna die hating Eminem, and he will be remembered as Eminem's biggest hater, right behind Benzino. And that's a sad way to fucking go out. Like, imagine you're part of a rap group, a big rap group. Now, me personally, I don't know how big they were because I didn't listen to it, but apparently they were big, and so big that Eminem gives the group respect. But when you die, people are going to remember more on you on Vlad TV, out of all places, right? Vlad TV shitting on Eminem. That's what you'll be remembered for. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's going to be a sad way to go out. That's literally be the saddest way to go out.
The ghost status that some people apply to him.
I don't listen to Eminem.
And that's okay.
I don't. As a black man, that's not what I listen to. When it comes on, when Eminem comes on, I change the channel. He puts words together, but the way his voice sounds bothers the fuck out of me.
Bitch, the way you look bothers the fuck out of me. You don't see me bitching.
Because again, we decide who's our ghost. It's not about record sales with us. You know what I mean? It's about who we feel the most. You know what I mean? Like, we make this decision.
In Lord Jamar's case, it seems like he'll never be able to fully let go of his animosity towards M, even if he never really has a reason to feel away in the first place. But the same can't be said for the Outsiders, who had grounds to take issue with some of.
You know what? This is gonna be the last one, and then I'm gonna make a second. I'm gonna leave it for our part 2.
Shady's behavior towards them. But before we talk about why the Outsiders had smoke with Eminem, let's talk about.
I need to talk.
Perfume.
Y'all go support. I got it, man. I can't.
Air device. That's when you did.
Y'all go support. Come on.
It's neatly packed.
Come on.
Flavored air. Perfume device.
Nope.
Taste.
Damn, how long is this shit?
It tastes. Really no smoke.
Jesus.
You can grab a free. Adding it's reusable as well. Visit tryfume.com. There we go. It is, and their beef with Eminem. In case you're not familiar, let's get back into the video and talk about the Outsiders and their beef with Eminem.
Here we go.
In case you're not familiar, the Outsiders are a legendary New Jersey crew, helmed by Young Z and Pace One. The crew also features rappers like.
I'm from New Jersey, but I heard they were from New York. Alright, if you're an old head and you watching this, can y'all let me know, are the Outsiders New Jersey or New York? Because, like, everybody always told me, I even said, yo, are they from New Jersey? Everybody kept telling me they're from New York. Y'all let me know. Or the fuck? He's wearing NYC.
Like Raw Digga, Slang Ton, and at one point, Eminem himself.
Yeah.
Basically, M spent some time with the group where they helped him hone in on his talents, and Shady even resided in the famous outhouse with them. Over time, the underground legends have been open about the role they played in providing early guidance to Shady when he was still a little rough around the edges.
When I was fucking with Eminem, he was basically, first of all, he was just a little fat white kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
I started working with him. He was rhyming, of course, but you know, when he came to Jersey and stayed at my house,
I guess the Jersey,
his skill. So basically, I birthed his new skill.
But this wasn't just some kind of transactional relationship. They were actually friends.
Yeah.
In fact, Raw Digga recalled that they had even gone to war for him on several occasions.
It was tough, you know, being a white boy, trying to go into these New York scenes and rhyme, and the Outsiders were there holding him down. Like, I know a few occasions where, you know, folks had to jump in fights and you know, on his behalf.
Oh, so he was getting into fights with people.
And, well, what M would do is, like, you know, he'd stage dive, he would just do things and, you know, quirky white boy stuff, and, you know, sometimes it went over well, sometimes it didn't, and, you know, he had the Outsiders there to back him up.
Initially introduced through Bazaar of D12, M repped the crew for a while, and even shouted them out on tracks with bars like this on the song As the World Churns.
Outsiders, baby, and we suing the courts, cause we dope as fuck and only get it to in the source, yeah.
Despite their role in his early development, the crew disappeared from Shady's circle once he signed with Dre. And according to Pace One, he and Young Z were supposed to have a feature on Amityville from the critically acclaimed The Marshall Mathers LP. However, they ended up getting removed in favor of Bazaar. With that, feelings were hurt, and soon, diss tracks like Pace One's rap music surfaced, alongside scathing comments in interviews. Left on the sidelines, Pace clearly felt a lot of bitterness about putting Eminem on, only to get kicked to the curb.
I ain't gonna front, I had a couple diss songs about Eminem. Eminem used to be in my crew, you know what I mean? I used to run around with him. Yo, overcoming not running around with him, it's like going from the major leagues back to AAA baseball. It's a little tough, but you know what I mean? I made the transition. I'm still running, I'm still trying to be the best.
He wasn't the only member of the crew to snap on Eminem either, because over the years, another Outsiders member by the name of As Is has maintained that Shady stole his flow, and has also released diss tracks like What Can I Say, where he spit,
You slept with your adopted sis Kim and had a child and sucked your Uncle Ronnie's dick with a smile.
He even followed this up with lines like this right after.
You trailer park hoe, you been a fed, you been a marshal. I know your lieutenant, motherfucker. I am your corporal.
Then it was Twitter fingers. He went on X to rant after he felt like he was left out of Eminem's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. To the stands, at Dr. Dre wasn't around during the struggle. When a mofo is as fake as this clown, you can't take your foot off his neck. The most ungrateful rapper to ever touch a mic at Eminem. How you shout out 100 MCs who did nothing for you in your Hall of Fame speech, but not me in slang. But not everyone in the crew shares this scornful view of Eminem. As in the eyes of Young Z, people like As Is are delusional and just trying to build a name for themselves off his connection to the crew.
And that's your own
He said
boy.
stuff about M that's totally not true. How he used to hang out at my house with M. I don't even know what he's talking about. He met M through M coming out to chill and work on music, and in the process he met M. He wasn't the reason we met.
Yo, and he got no reason to defend Eminem. He has every reason to defend his boy who's dissing Eminem, but he's calling out his boy on his bullshit right now. Let that shit sink in, yo.
Or nobody else. He must think Eminem owe him something. He don't owe him nothing.
Right.
He exaggerated his role in the group, and he has no right to jump on M for whatever reasons he think M stole his style. That's a total lie. Like,
another reason why Z has defended Shady is that in his opinion, Eminem did right by him.
I don't feel that way because he put me on mad shit. As is never did a tour with Eminem. I did like 8 tours. He put me on an 8 Mile soundtrack, D12. I made millions of dollars with Eminem. Literally millions of dollars.
Maybe he does have reason to defend
nothing else. I don't owe him nothing. We just two people that rhyme.
I'm confused now. Whoa.
Nothing else. I don't owe him nothing. We just two people that rhyme, that know each other, that, you know, we respect good rapping. That's it. He don't owe me nothing. I don't owe him nothing. We did whatever we did for each other out of the love of hip-hop.
There
and
you
the
go.
love of each other.
Simple as shit.
Despite several members of the crew coming at him, it's noteworthy that M never fired back. Instead, he acknowledged that maybe he could have done more for them on the track Fine Line from 2014, where he said, "Put 1,000 lighters in the sky for the outsiders. Wow, I must have had Alzheimer's. Long time since I shouted them out. About time. Cause it's been on my mind lately how Z, you always supported me. You vouched, I will never forget that. And how you guys accepted me in Pace. I love you too. You slept on my couch. And I've been thinking about the time when I slept on the floor at the outhouse. Since that olive branch was extended, even Pace has considered a truce. If Dre and
there
Eazy-E
you go. Look, see, say what you want about Eminem. It takes a real man to actually go say that shit. And keep in mind, Eminem's not gonna post about it on social media or anything. Eminem don't do that. Eminem would. He's one of those guys where like he puts everything into a song, because that's all he knows. So the fact that he's like, yeah, I probably could have done more for them. You know, that's actually kind of dope. He's admitted he was wrong. Now, regardless of what you feel, he's saying he's wrong, and he's admitted he could have done more for the group when he blew up. So. Shout out to him, man, and hopefully they squash
their beef. We all should be able to settle our disagreements with each other. At Eminem, life is too short.
There you go.
For the outsiders, their issues came from feeling like Shady abandoned them when an opportunity came along. But in Limp Bizkit's case, it was an act.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna make this into another part, so y'all gonna have to wait a day, 2 or 3 later after this drops. So yeah, because this video is long as fuck. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Peace.